Alex Eala, she beat Swiatek on the way to get there. I mean, incredible performance. And she's just got this huge following in the Philippines.
Iga Swiatek is reportedly demanding Alex Eala as her practice partner for Wimbledon.
She is such a good friend of mine.
And the tennis world cannot stop talking about it. The narrative ripping across tennis media right now is blunt.
I thought I was super lucky to have her.
That the 20-year-old Filipina ranked number 37 is the only player on tour pushing the defending Wimbledon champion in real preparation. The reports surfaced within 72 hours of Iga's Roland Garros collapse on her own birthday. The choice Iga is reportedly making before defending her Wimbledon title is going to make a lot of analysts look very, very wrong. If Iga Swiatek and Alex Eala meet at Wimbledon 2026, on the surface where Alex made her first WTA final at Eastbourne last year, against a defending champion under pressure, who walks off center court with the win? Drop your prediction below. You need only 2 facts to understand why this story is detonating. In June 2023, at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca, Iga Swiatek delivered the graduation speech for a 17-year-old Filipina named Alex Eala. Less than 2 years later, at the Miami Open quarterfinals in March 2025, that same Filipina beat her 6-2, 7-5 in straight sets. That is the relationship. Mentor at a podium, conqueror at a Grand Slam level event, and it explains everything that is about to follow. Because the tennis press spent the last month writing Alex Eala's regression story. Analyst Greg Rusetsky went on the record after Roland Garros and floated the word plateaued. He pointed to her serve. He pointed to a clay swing that produced losses to Ostapenko in Linz, Fernandez in Stuttgart, Rybakina in Rome, and a first-round Roland Garros exit to Iva Jovic on May 26th. The story being sold to fans was clean and damaging, that Eala flashed brilliance in Miami last year and has stalled out at world number 37. That is the public story. The private story, the one happening on practice courts across Europe, says the exact opposite. Start with what changed inside Iga's own camp. After the Miami 2026 tournament, Swiatek fired coach Wim Fissette and hired Francisco Roig, the Spanish veteran who spent years as Rafael Nadal's hitting coach. Roig is based in Spain, plugged directly into the Nadal Academy network. That single hire conveniently placed the world number 3 on the exact courts where Alex Eala lives and trains. The reunion was not going to be a question of if, it was a question of when. The when arrived on April 4th, 2026. The Rafa Nadal Academy posted a photograph to its official Instagram, Iga and Alex side by side with the caption, "Reunited." 44,000 likes. The Academy itself, not the players' camps, chose to make the moment public. That is an institutional endorsement. That is a tennis powerhouse telling the sport which 2 players belong at the center of the frame. 2 weeks later, the photo ops became real work. At the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix in Stuttgart, Eala and Swiatek practiced together on center court, the most visible surface at one of the most prestigious premier events on the calendar. The sessions were streamed publicly. YouTube uploads of the practice cleared 26,000 views each. And here is the detail the gossip pages missed when a tabloid hot mic moment briefly stole the headlines. The defending Wimbledon champion was not hiding these sessions on a back court. She was choosing to be seen working with Alex Eala in front of cameras, repeatedly. To every Filipino fan who watched the Miami win last year and said this is real. The world's best player just confirmed you were right. Then came Madrid. Then the Nadal Academy. Again, the same combination of names, in the same configuration, at 3 different tournaments across 2 months. That is no longer a coincidence. That is a working partnership. The most damaging evidence against the plateaued narrative arrived on May 31st. Iga Swiatek walked onto Court Philippe Chatrier on her 25th birthday. The court where she has lifted 4 French Open trophies and lost 7-5, 6-1 to Marta Kostyuk in straight sets. A defending Wimbledon champion, a new coach, a wounded ranking, 3 weeks until grass, and exactly 1 player in her recent practice rotation has actually beaten her in a Grand Slam in the last 18 months. That player does not have a top 10 ranking. That player is Alex Eala. Greg Rusedski reached the 1997 U.S. Open Final. He was a Wimbledon quarterfinalist. He has spent more than 15 years as a Sky Sports analyst covering the highest level of professional tennis, from the Sampras Agassi era to today. Asked directly on his podcast in April whether the Iga sessions were helping Alex Eala, he did not soften the answer. He said, "No question. You want to see if you can do it with the very best at the highest level. And she's beaten Swiatek already. She's beaten a lot of great players. Why not?" Then he added the line that should be circulated on every Filipino sports timeline. When you have Rafa as your advisor, it doesn't get any better. The same analyst who used the word plateaued also confirmed her team configuration is the best in tennis. Read those two statements together. One is a critique of a serve. The other is a confirmation that the most powerful people in the sport have chosen her. The Rafa Nadal Academy did not select Alex Eala by accident. Iga Swiatek did not return to the same practice partner 3 times by accident. Venus Williams did not sign up to play doubles with her at Bad Homburg by accident. Inside a single 30-day window before Wimbledon, Alex Eala is being prepared by 2 of the most decorated names in modern women's tennis. Birmingham 125K arrives in mid-June with Eala as the top seed, opening against Priscilla Hahn. Bad Homburg follows immediately after with the Venus-Williams doubles partnership on grass, a Wimbledon tune-up event Iga herself has used in past seasons. Wimbledon main draw begins at the end of June. Both are confirmed. A draw collision is on the table. The Filipino sports diaspora has waited decades for a global tennis breakthrough, and the marker of arrival was never going to be a trophy. The marker was always going to be the moment the reigning champion treated the challenger as her equal in private. That moment already happened. It happened in April. The trophy is just the public version of a verdict tennis insiders have already delivered. The Roland Garros loss still hurts. On May 26th, Alex Eala lost 4-6, 2-6 in the first round to Iva Jovic, a player she considers a friend. She did not hide from it. She told the Philippine Inquirer she was proud of the progress she had made and was embracing the growing pains of climbing into the top tier of the sport. 48 hours later, her name was being mentioned in the same Wimbledon prep sentence as the defending champion. That is not the trajectory of a player who has plateaued. That is the trajectory of a player whose worst day is still being treated as a passing inconvenience by the people who decide her ceiling. 3 years ago, Iga Swiatek gave a graduation speech for a 17-year-old most of the tennis world could not name. 15 months ago, that same 17-year-old beat her 6-2, 7-5 in Miami. 2 months ago, the Rafa Nadal Academy made their reunion official with a single photograph. 2 days ago, the defending Wimbledon champion lost on her birthday in Paris and turned her preparation toward grass. The story the press has been pushing about Alex Eala is being contradicted by the only person whose opinion actually matters, the player at the top of the mountain. Wimbledon begins at the end of this month. Both names are in the draw. So here's the question worth fighting over in the comments. If Iga Swiatek and Alex Eala meet at Wimbledon 2026, on the surface where Alex made her first WTA final at Eastbourne last year against a defending champion under pressure, who walks off center court with the win? Drop your prediction below. Show your work. Bring the head-to-head, the form, the matchup logic. Stake your claim now before the draw is announced. Because every Birmingham match, every Bad Homburg doubles point, every leaked Wimbledon practice photo gets broken down on this channel first. Subscribe and challenge the next prediction. The next 30 days decide everything.